Top 5 things I hate about Fiverr. Hey everyone, Mike Nardi here with another Fiverr video for you. This video is a follow-up to the video I published last week that talked about the top 5 things that I love about Fiverr. If you haven't already seen that video, there'll be a link on the screen or in the description. Make sure you click it and watch that video first. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the top 5 things that I hate about Fiverr. So hate is a strong word. These are 5 things that I think Fiverr could improve upon to improve seller experience, or they're just things that I've run into that I'm not too crazy about. So take hate with a grain of salt. I don't hate many things in life. These are just things that I don't like so much or could be improved upon. Before I get into this video, make sure you're liking this video and subscribing to the channel. It helps me get the word out about these videos, Fiverr, and how to improve on Fiverr, and I really appreciate it. Thank you. The first thing is Fiverr's revision process, or for better words, the lack of a revision process. Currently, when you deliver an order to a buyer, that order needs to be marked as completed before any funds are released to you as payment. There's 2 ways currently that this can be completed. The first is either the buyer marks the delivery or order as completed and the funds will be released to you that way and they'll rate your order and you go on your merry ways. Or the second way that an order can be marked as completed is after 3 days have passed, once you've delivered it, Fiverr will automatically mark that order as completed. The issue with the current revisions process on Fiverr is that as it currently stands, the buyer holds a lot of control over when funds are released to you. They can essentially constantly request revisions outside of the scope of what you've already outlined as what would be an acceptable amount of revisions. It can become a real pain. Now, this isn't a huge problem. In the last year of being on Fiverr, I probably only run into a couple of buyers that have, really used this as a weapon against me, but it can be a real pain. Basically, the way that the process is currently structured is it puts a lot of, good merit and good feelings on the customer or the buyer side of things. Fiverr wants it to be as easy and comfortable as possible for the buyer to go through the order, delivery, and completion process. However, if you run into a buyer that's kind of being a pain in the and doesn't want to cooperate or is requesting more revisions than you agreed upon, they essentially feel like they hold all this power and can string you along, wasting a lot of your time. Essentially, the sellers get thrown under the bus with the way that the revision process currently works if you run into one of these troubled buyers. As a seller, right now, the way that I avoid these situations is by setting proper expectations with my buyers. Clearly outline in writing in some place in your order or your delivery or your requirements how many revisions you'll allow per order. In my case, I charge for additional revisions, and that's helped largely with buyers staying within the box of what's fair and reasonable for an order. So until Fiverr finds a way to fix this, I'd advise you do the same. The second thing that I really can't stand and hate about Fiverr are the scammers. Now, I can't tell you how many times over the past year I've been messaged by a scammer of some form, shape, or sort on Fiverr. It's so annoying. Now, I know it's probably really difficult and probably impossible for Fiverr to completely eliminate scammers off the platform, as I'm sure no matter what Fiverr does, they're gonna find a way to sneak through. But it's something that has always frustrated me, which is why it made this list. Now, there's 2 types of scammers that I've run into on Fiverr. The first type are the types of scammers that try to fish information out of you or send you a suspicious link and get you to click it. These people suck. Plain and simple, they suck. If you notice that someone's trying to scam you or they're asking you weird questions, asking you to release personal information or send you a suspicious looking link, those bit.ly links or a shortened link, be careful. Don't click the link right away until you're certain that the buyer's legit. One trick I use when I get, my spidey sense rises that I might be facing a scammer is if they're sending me a link saying that there's important information about the order in a suspicious link, I'll simply ask them to copy and paste whatever's in that link into the Fiverr chat. I'll tell them straight up, I don't open links from new sellers or buyers. Plain and simple. If they can appreciate that and copy and paste into the chat, you probably have someone legit. If they don't and they're giving you the runaround, just ignore them and move on. It's probably a scam. The second type of scammer that I run into quite a bit on Fiverr, and these are so frustrating and kind of funny, are people who are trying to kind of work their way through the requirements and information gathering process to get you to do work for free. Either they're offering to pay you in the future or offering you a piece of their business in exchange for work, or basically are doing anything to stretch the payment terms so that they're not actually ordering from you on Fiverr and getting some form of free work. Listen, you guys suck too. If you're on Fiverr talking to me, like most other sellers, I'm here to get paid, and Fiverr's here to, process orders. Don't try to scam us with some shady, pyramid schemey, confusing payment process. We have a service we're trying to deliver, and there's a price that you need to pay to do it. Now, in the real world, in startups, it's very common for companies to trade off equity and things like that for work. However, if you have someone coming at you on Fiverr and you're offering a really basic solution like graphic design, or in my case, copywriting, why would anyone want to give you a piece of their business for that? Really just think about it. In my mind, I chalk it up as being too good to be true, and I move on. These people just, they try, and it's up to you to really fish them out and, avoid them at all costs. So I hate scammers on Fiverr. The third thing that I really hate about Fiverr is the lack of a vetting process for buyers. And this goes hand in hand with the whole number 2, how much I hate scammers. If there's a little bit more of a vetting process for buyers coming onto the platform, it'd probably eliminate a lot of the scammers. At least the lazy scammers who just send you these suspicious links, right? So I get why it's so easy for buyers to sign up for the platform. It's Fiverr. As a seller, I want it to be easy for buyers to join the platform, get their information in there and start ordering. It's great for us, right? And for Fiverr, they want it to be easy for buyers as well, because they don't want there to be all these barriers and hoops you need to jump through to become a member of the platform. I get it. All I'm saying is it sucks that there are people like scammers or really, really unqualified buyers on the platform who are just wasting people's time or trying to get free insights or information. If there was some way that there could be a very light vetting process, I think that would go a long way in improving the overall buyer-seller experience. That's just my 2 cents. Anyways, I do love how Fiverr is such an open market, unlike certain platforms like Upwork, which have very intense vetting processes. I love the open free market that Fiverr has, and I want it to continue. So maybe this is just me venting, but maybe a light vetting process could be good. So that's my number 3. Number 4 is how cancellations work and generally affect you as a seller. Now, this isn't a huge problem, but there have been a couple of situations over my last year on Fiverr where I've run into situations where I've noticed a flaw with the way cancellations are handled by Fiverr. Let me explain. So over the past year, I've completed about 200 orders on the platform. In most cases, people will message me asking me questions about my gig, questions about me, or really just iron out any things they might have questions about before placing an order. And that's great. I love answering these questions, and it makes sure that me and my buyers are on the same page, and when I deliver the work, we both understand and are anticipating the same thing in the delivery. In some cases though, buyers will just find my gigs and submit an order, which is also fine. But there's some cases where a buyer will submit an order not realizing what it is they're actually submitting the order for. So I've gotten a couple orders over the past year completely irrelevant to any service that I deliver on Fiverr. So in these situations, I have to message the buyer, let them know that they may have either placed an order with me by mistake or simply just didn't understand the service that I offered. And then we have to work with Fiverr's dispute resolution team to cancel the order. And that's fine, right? I don't want to take someone's money if I'm not going to deliver the order. But where the flaw lies is when that order is canceled, it affects your seller stats, which sucks. If someone ordered for me by mistake and I'm going out of my way to help them get their money back, why should I have a negative reflection of that on my statistics? These stats are what Fiverr uses to promote people through the Fiverr seller levels. So that could really suck for someone if that puts you under a threshold and you don't go from, level 2 seller where I'm at to top rated. Fiverr, you got to figure this out. Find a way that this doesn't negatively affect sellers, because people do make mistakes and order things by accident. So that's another thing I hate, how the cancellation process currently works. The fifth, and arguably the most frustrating thing that I hate about Fiverr, are the Fiverr middlemen out there who try to outsource work to me and other sellers when they don't fully understand the work they're trying to outsource. Let me explain. Now, this is an interesting one because Fiverr is an awesome platform for businesses to use to outsource work. It's great, and that's one of the most fantastic parts about the tool. However, we live in a world where everyone is trying to get rich quick. So if you go on YouTube and you search for how to make money on Fiverr, you'll see a million videos with titles like how to make money on Fiverr easy, or how to copy and paste your way to thousands of dollars on Fiverr, or how to make money on Fiverr without doing any work. What this has done is created a whole birth of opportunistic Fiverr sellers who are putting gigs out there saying that they offer a service, and then when someone buys that gig, they go and pitch it over to another Fiverr seller and get them to complete the work. And then the middleman essentially walks away with the difference between what they're charging the client and what the other seller's charging them. Normally, I wouldn't have a problem like that with this, but where it becomes an issue is if the person acting as the middleman has no idea what the buyer is looking for, or they didn't do a good job understanding the requirements. And in these situations, it can become very difficult for the other seller to deliver the order at all. If the person outsourcing it to you doesn't fully understand it, how are you supposed to know what the buyer is expecting? And the other thing that happens because of this is you usually get a lot of revisions, and they're delayed because you have to communicate with this other seller who then has to communicate with their buyer. It's just a bad process. So if you're one of these people who are outsourcing work on Fiverr, I commend you for being entrepreneurial and trying to take advantage of an opportunity, but do a better job. I don't like it when you aren't doing right by your buyers. Make sure you're understanding what they want and show them value, even if you're not the one creating that value. That's number 5, the middlemen on Fiverr. Hate them. All right, so that's it. Those are the 5 things I hate most about Fiverr. And I'll say again, hate is a strong word. These are generally just the 5 things that could be improved or I'm not too crazy about on Fiverr. Overall, I love Fiverr as a platform, but if Fiverr can figure out these things and anyone watching this video can use this to become a better buyer or seller on the platform, you're gonna make it better for everyone. So thanks again for watching. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you're doing it. It helps me get the message across and helps more people find these videos, find Fiverr, and make more out of their spare time, improving on skills and making a couple bucks in the process. So thanks again for watching. Have a great night. Cheers.